The Warriors is one of my personal favorite films, and I'm not alone in that regard. And since many people today not only love that movie, but also review movies and put their information on the internet, I was kind of surprised to see that some of the things that I discovered hadn't been spoken about yet, particularly by guys like Rob Ager. Normally, he's all over things like what I'm about to discuss here. But the other night when I was watching the film, I noticed in the scene right after Ajax gets busted for trying to get with the undercover police officer, you see this sign in a room that Swan goes into. And now you've probably noticed the massive amounts of military undertones throughout the film.
Maybe we'll get to waste a few heads along the way. You just soldier and keep your mouth shut.
60,000 soldiers.
Well, you come armying down here, invading our territory.
Are you just gonna let an army walk through here anytime they feel like it? How's that gonna look?
Get lost.
And pretty soon every gang's just gonna boogie right in. Soldier right through.
Take your colors off, you can walk through. We don't do that.
It's just our mark. It don't mean we're at war. You go as civilians, okay? You go as soldiers, they gotta come down on you. Now take off your colors.
And the fact that the movie is based on the novel, which is based on an old Greek story about soldiers, it makes a lot of sense that there's a military undertone. So when I see this Bring Your Brain 2, don't be a dummy, don't be an idiot, like Swan tells Ajax,
You never were very smart.
I think, okay, well, this might actually be a little bit of a hidden Easter egg here. So I went back through the film looking closely with the intention of finding more hidden military motifs and undertones, and while I did find a few, what I was really surprised to notice was the large amounts of places in the film where the signage actually seems to be kind of describing what's going on in the movie or what just did or is about to, as in the case with the Bring Your Brain 2 poster. So first, let me establish really quickly that the posters definitely were manipulated for the film. They didn't just leave the posters on the wall the way that they were when they showed up and started filming. The first thing that shows this is there's just tons of empty spaces, tons of empty chunks of corkboard there, and you know back in those days there was no internet, and classified ads in the paper cost money. Free signage like that, people buried it with pieces of paper. You can still see this at the supermarket today, but back in those days they were buried. So there's no way they didn't clean these up. But we do see posters like the one that I pointed out, but it's got empty spot next to it, so it's pretty obvious to me that it was put there. But in addition to that, you'll also notice in this scene that there's two movie posters there. One is Foul Play, the other is Heaven Can Wait. Both of those are Paramount Productions. What company produced The Warriors? Okay, they weren't about to advertise other people's films, and they're going to go ahead and advertise a couple of theirs. So, and just to show you an example of what I'm talking about, right after the Foul Play poster, they bump into the Baseball Furies. Foul Play, baseball, dun-dun-dun. As they're running from the Baseball Furies, they run under the chase sign. In the next section, we see it happen rapid fire, actually, though. 3 signs, one after the other, talking about the plot. The first I've already pointed out, the Bring Your Brain 2 poster. The second one, well, Mercy and Swan, they go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and she comes in, and they've been separated for a while. And she's going to go talk to him, and she's going to make sure that she goes with him. And look what the sign says next to her. And then she goes and stands underneath this exit sign. And what's she tell Swan?
Now look, if you still want to get to Union Square, I can show you where to grab the train.
Okay. Come on.
No, I can get you out. I'm the way out. I'm the exit. I've announced control. Swan is being followed by the guy on roller skates. And he skates right up to this poster that says, "If not you, who?" And he is the last gang between them and Coney Island, isn't he? And then more with Mercy and Swan as they've fought some more. And Mercy is basically running back to him to tell him that these guys are following him. And look what the poster right next to her says. "And let him run for you." Just like with the earlier poster, "Announce Control," they've deliberately cropped letters in this scene for it to have a different message. The last one that I noticed in the film was there's Stillwell when they get to Stillwell Avenue. But there's one other scene that I think is a smoking gun for it because it has a continuity error, and this is the kind of a continuity error in a low-budget film that probably shouldn't really be there. You'll notice why Swan and Mercy are sitting next to each other on the subway in that beloved scene when the two couples get on from the prom and they sit across from each other and Mercy goes to touch her hair and Swan reaches and grabs her hand and all that. Pay attention to the letters on the sign where they're sitting before the kids come on, where they're sitting when Swan touches her hair. But look at how the letters are arranged when the kids first look at them. What does that mean in Spanish? Now, I would imagine if I looked closer and tried harder, I could probably even find more things like this in that film. I only have a DVD release of it. I don't have a Blu-ray release, so there's some of the things I can't even quite make out. But this is something I haven't seen anybody else online talking about, and being that there's a lot of people out there, particularly, like I said, guys like Rob Ager that are like usually all over this kind of stuff, I was kind of surprised and figured that I would put it out there and let other people see what they have to think. So let me know, what do you think? Am I crazy? Does this make no sense? Do you think this is kind of cool? You think, wow, maybe there's more to this than I thought before? And don't forget to give this video a like and a comment, and please subscribe and all those other fancy things to help with the algorithm so that I can get this channel moving and, maybe eventually one day buy a digitizer that doesn't suck. Thanks a lot.
I'll shove that bat up your ass and turn you into a popsicle.